Our guest today is a registered financial planner, book author, keynote speaker, and personal financial consultant. He is one of the personal finance experts that is sought after in our country today. His energy and passion to educate the Filipino people has transformed ordinary consumers into investors. Friends, let us welcome my friend, Marvin Germo. Good morning, good evening, Marvin.
Good evening. Thank you for the heartwarming introduction.
Of course, ikaw pa. I've seen you everywhere but never was able to come to the show. Only for today. Thank you for coming to the show.
It's an honor. At least it's already done. We're here.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
So tell me about your journey. I mean,
Okay.
you're a financial planner, financial consultant, a book author, a stock trader.
Okay.
So can you share us your journey?
Okay. It started. Just to give you a background, my course in college was engineering. It's very far from what I'm doing now.
Well,
but
isn't there like a little relation there with the numbers and all?
there is now. Looking at it from hindsight, because when I see numbers, when I see charts, it becomes easy for me. But when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I was thinking that, oh no, engineering is quite far from the financial industry. I was thinking that I may be disqualified to actually do this and actually make something happen in this field. But something happened when I was in college. My dad was a good employee. He was one of the top management people in GlaxoSmithKline.
Ah, okay.
And then there was a time before they just merged. They recently merged in the early 2000s.
With Pfizer.
Yeah. It was SmithKline at that time.
So
then
SmithKline,
Glaxo,
Beecham.
and then SmithKline, Beecham, and Glaxo, they merged into GSK. When they merged, he was given an option to retire. So he took that early retirement plan. But there was something that happened where, since he didn't have any savings, and syempre, if you're a father, you have continuous expenses for your family.
Yes.
So the most responsible thing that he did was he tried to start a business. So we started two businesses, a gasoline station and a napkin distributorship. Ayun, something happened with those two businesses that, to make the long story short, it did not go well. So I saw my father in his early 50s, starting from scratch. And that's where, ayun, yung engineering background comes in. I was in college at that time, and then I was computing. What if my dad started saving early? When he was in his 20s, he would have just saved up, not even the 20% that you mentioned. My computation was, what if he did 10%, or what if he did 15% from 20 to 50? He would save up this much money, and then plus the lump sum that he got pag nung 50 plus, add that all together, he could have placed that money in something that was very conservative, bonds or preferred shares, and then he would have lived off interest. It's not sobrang glamorosong buhay, but it's something that was, I think it was something that he would be able to live comfortably if he would have chosen to gone to work as a consultant or do other things. At least he had something already earning for him that was passive. So that was a staging point in my life. I said to myself, whatever happened to him should not happen to me. When I
it was a learning experience for you, seeing him.
Kasi he would teach us when we were younger, na study hard. When you study hard, you'll get into a good company, and then they'll send you to trips like what I'm doing. You'll get a lot of perks. But that's what I saw. But it was never taught to us that when the money starts coming in, how do we handle it? What do we do with it? So I said to myself, when I reach 40, when I reach 50, my life should be different. And the reason why I had a trigger to actually start saving, start investing, was because I wanted something different. I wanted that when I get older, I wanted my money working hard for me, but at the same time also that I get to be a blessing to my children, or to my children's children, or to the generation above me.
Yeah.
So yun, I was about, I think I passed the board exam already at a certain point. Then when I was picking my jobs, the first job that I signed was totally far from what I was doing.
Yeah.
So when that came in, signed the contract, but even before my first paycheck came in, it was well budgeted already. One of my biggest secrets when I started out, I budgeted well, and I was super kuripot, and I would try to find as much ways to earn additional income in the weekends, on the weekdays. I'd try to earn money. Then, ayun, from that income, I would save as much as I can sa bank. I would save, I would just save. And then, as I studied further, that's when I learned that, hey, I can actually invest. I can actually do other businesses. So I started investing. I'm sure you talked about this a lot in your show, like the bonds, the mutual funds. I
Yeah.
started investing in all of those things. And then as I started investing in those products, I came across a balanced fund. What's funny
Yeah.
about the balanced
Yeah.
fund was I just loved the movement of how prices were going up and how logical it was for me, because as an engineer, you're trained to think logically.
Yes.
You're trained to look at the numbers. You're trained to look at things at what it is. So
So how long were you in that corporate world?
I worked probably for 5 years,
Uh-uh.
but in my first year pa lang as an employee, I already saw it. I was already doing different side businesses and investments. And it came to a point where my office mates were coming to me, Marvin, 6 months ka pala nag-work, kami 5 years na, mas malaki na ipon mo. Kasi they would be shocked eh. Parang if there would be seat sales sa airplane, I would not go. Sabi ko, no na, okay lang. I need to save it. I wanted to save. So doon, they would come to me, Marvin, teach us how you do it. We'll treat you for coffee. We'll treat you for dinner. So for me, yes, additional savings. I get to save more.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
to, and at that time, it was actually me. I just wanted to share ideas. I just wanted to share what I knew, and I just wanted to. It was so alive in me that I needed to invest. I needed to save. I needed to make my money work hard for me. So there, it came to that point, and then more friends came. Then I got referred one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, and then until it became bigger.
And then you left the corporate world and became
Not
a
yet.
stockbroker?
Not yet.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
while I was doing all of those things, I said that this is actually taking up my time already. I was literally doing financial planning, financial consulting already. I wasn't even RFP at that time.
Yeah.
I was just teaching them what I studied and the experiences that I knew. So I said, it's taking a lot of my time. Why don't I start charging? I'll start charging with a minimum amount to compensate for the time, compensate for transportation and all of those things. So
How did you tell your friends, oh, but I have to charge you na, ha? Ganyan. How did you open it up to them?
Every time I would meet, I would just say that since this is taking my time, this is a certain fee that I would give out, and when I saw people,
And they gladly said yes to it.
when people said yes to it, yun, tuloy na. But there were people naman who weren't willing naman. So I would balance it out also. If that person was in debt before, okay lang sa akin, I'll help the person, because this is something that I really want to do. Talaga, I was doing it to lahat, my parents, my brother, everyone. I was teaching them how to budget. I would get my brother's salary at that time. Oh, you put this here. Oh, this one is what's left for this is your allowance lang. I literally loved it. And then it came to a point where those clients started to expand. Pero at that time already, I was doing financial planning. Then I was already invested in the stock market. It was so...
You did use a broker or you did it yourself?
Everything's online now.
Online ka noon
Yeah,
when you're doing...
until now, I still use
yes.
online, because what's amazing about investing in the stock market now, since everything is online, I could be in another place, but because I have my phone with me, I have my laptop with me, I can trade it. It's not anymore like what it was in the 1980s, where you need to talk to someone sa trading floor to be able to make a buy and sell. Now, every brokerage firm has an online platform. You just need that online platform to log in and to buy and sell your stocks. That's how basic it can be.
Yeah, right
so
now.
what's nice about that was I was in my IT consulting work. Since I was in front of the laptop the whole time, I can trade the markets simultaneously. Markets open, I would trade. I can watch it regularly. So
So you just trade here in the Philippines, or you also trade abroad?
What's amazing about that, when the year started, I think 1 or 2 years ago, I started an account overseas also that allows you to trade not just Singapore market, but it allows you to trade Hong Kong, Malaysia, and US markets. But since it's overseas, I don't come into trade. It's just really for investing. It's just really for
Long term.
and I don't do, since I don't know most of the companies there, I just pick specific companies that I know, and I just accumulate and just buy the shares there. Most of the trading for me happens here in the Philippines. That's where
That's where the market is. We're an emerging market, right?
and it's what I know, and it's what I see. And if I would encourage people to invest, syempre, when I do talks to OFWs, I tell them, come here to the Philippines. This is where the money is needed the most. I don't put it Don't put it in other countries where ibang tao makikinabang eh.
This is actually very exciting, and I'm sure our viewers also would like to know more about your journey into this business, and later you'll tell us about your book. But for now, we have to pause for a break.